Benvenuto! Welcome to the very first informative video of Sardinia in a Nutshell. My name is Fatima and I'll be your guide today. Sort of. Today's topic is, of course, Sardinia. But whilst it can be argued that every single video is about Sardinia, this one is especially about Sardinia because I'm going to talk about where it is, what is Sardinia, a small bit of history because it's just too long to put it all, and the question that everyone wants to know. Is Sardinia called Sardinia because it's full of sardines? Right, first of all, what is Sardinia? Sardinia is a region of Italy. It's not the one, just a bit, not the one, that's Sicily, that, just a bit there, that's Sardinia. Yeah. Yes, I realize that Sardinia is not as known as Sicily. I realize that loads of people do not know about Sardinia at all. So, why should people know about Sardinia, right? Well, they should, because Sardinia is important. It's the second largest island in the Mediterranean Sea, right after Sicily and before Cyprus. And if it wasn't so freaking expensive, it would be such a good place to go on a vacation. Which it still is. But it's too fucking expensive. Also, a little bit of a fun fact, the tectonic plate from which Sardinia detached is actually not from Europe, it's the African one. So we can say that we have at least a little bit of African blood in our veins. Take that, racist. Now, on to a very brief history of Sardinia. The first traces of life in Sardinia date back to 200,000 years ago. Although it has been conquered by a very large amount of civilizations, such as the Phoenicians, ancient Carthage, Rome, Sardinia has always enjoyed a little bit of autonomy, simply because it was just simpler for the rulers to ignore what was going on in Sardinia. As it's happening now in Italy, you know. But all of that changed when Pope Boniface VIII gave Sardinia to James II of Aragon as an incentive to help him with military aid. So when in 1469 the Kingdom of Castile and the Kingdom of Aragon got together to form the Kingdom of Spain, what is now called Spain, of course Sardinia was part of it, and that you can actually hear it a lot in our language, in Sardinian, but that's a story for another time. So how come that Sardinia is now part of Italy? Well, that's because in 1713, during the Spanish War of Succession, sorry, I cannot pronounce that word, Sardinia was briefly conquered by Austria, only to then be given to Victor Amadeus II, Duke of Savoy, in the Treaty of London. The Duke of Savoy, Victor Emmanuel II, became King of Italy in 1861, after, of course, Garibaldi unified the whole of Italy for him. Details, you know. Things only went from bad to worse for Sardinia because, of course, it was the poorest and the most underdeveloped region of the whole of Italy. And, of course, being an island, it was isolated from the mainland. So, really, the government didn't really give that much of a crap about it. As usual, we're used to it by now. But it wasn't long until the First World War started, and if things were bad before, you can imagine how they were now. But never fear, because after the First World War, there's the Second World War, and things really went bad then. For example, Cagliari, in 1943, was completely destroyed by a bombing, and my grandparents still remember those times. But to every bad side of the coin, there's a good side. So, of course, it's only fair to say that, at least with the fascist era and Mussolini, we had Carbonia. Although it is debatable if it's really a good thing or not. Just kidding, it's my birthday and of course I'm happy that it was created. Ish. But of course, as we all know, Mussolini and his BFF Hitler did not stay long in power, so things went super well and Sardinia was actually able to thrive and become one of the best regions of Italy, and none of it is true. But I digress. This is something I will cover maybe in another video if you're interested, of course. So now the moment of truth. Is Sardinia actually called Sardinia because it's full of sardines? No, it's not because of that. It's actually the other way around. Sardines were called after Sardinia. Apparently in the 1700s, as reported by the Swedish naturalist Peter Artedi, the seas of Sardinia were so full of sardines that he decided to give them that name. For those of you who are actually interested, the name Sardinia comes from the Punic word SHRDN, which was found in the Nora stone, the less famous cousin of the Rosetta Stone. That was bad. This brings us to the end of the video. Of course, if you like it, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comment below. I will try to reply and or make a video. Why not? And I'm sorry, I was reading my notes about the names of the Italian kings. I only know them in Italian, and for me in English are just too difficult. I'm really bad with names. That's it. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. A si vidi. It's the second largest. It's the second largest island in the Mediterranean Sea. Mediterranean Sea. Fuck it.